I'm Gabe Abshire. This is Connecting the Journey. How you doing, guys? Welcome to Connecting the Journey. The purpose of the show, as we always talked about, as entrepreneurs, we're always looking forward, always looking for that next greatest thing, and very seldom do we look back and see those things that got us where we are today so we can move forward with gratitude. Today, I'm super excited to have Utility Concierge's new president, Jason Lindwall, in the studio today. We're going to get to know him, get to know what makes him tick, and why he's so excited to join the Utility Concierge team. Jason, great to see you, brother.
Great to see you as well, and thank you for allowing me to join Connecting with the Journey.
Well, I'm excited. We were going to do just a intro conversation to let people get to know you. I figured this would be the best platform to do it because we're going to go backwards a little bit and see what makes you tick and
You're going to learn all about me.
Yeah. Okay. You ready for that?
I'm ready.
We're going to go deep.
Okay.
All right. Now, real excited to have you here, though. Real excited to have you join the team. You've been on about a month and a half now, and it's been awesome to have you on board. But let's talk about you, where you came from, where you grew up, and remember those things that along the way, those moments that kind of shifted the direction in your life. That's where we're going to go for. So you got to dig deep for us.
All right, I will. So I grew up in Fairfield, Connecticut. I'm one of three kids. I'm the middle child, which is the best child to be in a group.
I think so.
So, grew up in Connecticut, had a wonderful family life. My dad, my mom. My dad was a shoe salesman, sold shoes in two stores. So he worked for the manufacturer. So he was a sales guy all his life, but he was always there for us. A little different than what you typically saw at that time, where dads were out on the working every day, but my dad was around a lot and had a wonderful relationship with him. And then he encouraged me to work hard, and so I actually started with a paper route when I was 14 years old.
Paper route.
Yeah, so you don't do that anymore. But I started with a paper route when I was 14, and I already had a operationally sophisticated system. So I had these envelopes that I would drop off 2 days before the due date, because back then they paid you in cash. There was no credit cards or anything like that. So they paid you in cash. I had to collect. And so I figured out that I could take these manila envelopes that my mom brought home from the bank, and I would write down how much each person owed me, and I would put it in their mailbox. And then 2 days later, they would put the envelope in the mailbox with the money, of course, with my tip as well.
Did you put that tip not included?
Tip appreciated, I think is what it said. And so then I would collect. So I never ran into any issues from a collection perspective.
You must have lived in a nice neighborhood.
Yeah, it was pretty nice. It was pretty nice. But the other really cool thing about that time is my dad on Saturday mornings, he would get up super early, and he would have everything laid out in the Subaru station wagon. And my sister and I would get into the Subaru, and we would go up and down the street dropping off the paper. And on Saturdays, back then, they used to give you the funny pages and the advertisements on Saturday to put into the Sunday paper. Well, we delivered it on Saturday. So we actually gave it a little bit earlier than most. And we had repeat customers for that purpose too. Never really lost a customer. And that was fun. But then from there, I actually built a lawn cutting business. And so I started talking to the people that I was delivering newspapers to, and I said, hey, would you like someone to cut your grass? And so I started cutting grass, and that led into a pretty good business. I had one of those lock lawn mowers, the ones with the rotary front ends.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the day. And I would drive it up to their houses, and I'd cut the grass, and I'd drive it all the way home. But I was always enterprising as a kid. And then I started working at a gas station, pumping gas and selling oil and fixing flat tires and stuff like that. But I was always working, and saved all my money. And then when I turned 16, I bought my first car myself. I paid for it myself. It was a Jeep, and I was like the coolest, cat in town with being able to take the top off and cruise the neighborhood. It was so much fun. And so, continued on from there and built a car cleaning business and a boat cleaning business, because Fairfield is on Long Island Sound, and had a boat cleaning business as well. And so it was always doing something. Never stopped as a kid.
Very service oriented.
Yeah. I was working out every day. It's a lot to clean those big boats. It's a lot of work in the arms and in the abs. It was a good workout as a kid, but always worked hard. And unfortunately, when I turned 18, I lost my dad. My dad died of cancer when I was 18, and that was a big shock to the system.
Sure.
Right. Really felt lost at that time of, what do we do? What do I do? And had just graduated high school, was thinking about what do I want to do with my life. And
what's the age difference from the youngest?
So my sister is a year and a half younger.
Okay.
Right. So she's a junior in high school, losing her dad. I'm just out of high school, and my brother's 5 years older. So a lot of shock. And my mom, she was shocked.
Was it sudden?
It was sudden. My dad wasn't feeling well, and then he didn't drive to a particular shoe show that he went to, and I drove up and picked him up, and he wasn't well. And so I actually took him to the hospital, and he never left. He was supposed to have surgery and had a stroke, and there was nothing we could do. But, I think about it today, all the things that my dad did for me, and then that time of my life, he did something else. Is he really gave us a swift kick in the butt to say, what are you going to do with your life, kid? Right? And it really helped. It got me into college, really figuring out what I want to do from that perspective. Ended up paying for school myself, and got through it. And then got my first job, my first real job. We'll call it a real job.
Where'd you go to school at?
So I went to a small liberal arts school in Massachusetts called Western New England College.
Okay.
And ended up getting a business degree there, and also computer information systems. So that technology with the business side of things, which really worked well for me.
Yeah. Was it close to home?
About an hour.
Okay,
About an
so
hour
not
from
too
home, and really figured out life, and ended up meeting my wife in high school. So she ended up choosing a school that was 3 miles away. Just happened to choose that school.
That worked out well.
We're still together today, and we've got 3 beautiful children, and had a wonderful life. But that job, that first big job, was a tech job, and I was a CIO for a property management firm that owned and managed properties around the country. And that was fun. And met one of my first mentors there, a guy by the name of Jeremy Pava. And Jeremy really took me under his wing, taught me a lot about business, taught me a lot about respect for people, and giving back. And that was really awesome at that time in my life. And we ended up getting married there, had my 3 kids there, and then something crazy happened, and I moved to Dallas.
Culture shock.
Culture shock, yes.
Yeah.
We went from, 3.5 acres of grass cutting every Saturday to cutting my grass with a weed whacker. Very, very different scenario. But in 2008, had the opportunity to make a big change, and that was coming to RealPage here in Dallas. Small company at the time, but never realized what it was going to be until it really happened, and that was awesome. That was awesome.
What sounds like your dad was a huge influence on you early on, and it's interesting how that works out. Like, he didn't know, right? But he prepared you. How about your siblings? Similar deal. Very entrepreneurial.
Yeah, my sister is a realtor in Connecticut. Very successful. My brother is an athletic director for a private high school. Very successful in the coaching arena. He's a 2-time state champion coach for girls basketball. And he's well on his way to his 3rd right now, his last year of actually coaching. So he's we're watching every game every week. getting
And
excited.
they still up north also?
Yeah, yeah. I'm the only one that lives out of the bubble in our family. Yeah, I'm the one that's far away.
Yeah. What sports did you play? Did you play in high school and college, or
Just high school. Played basketball, football. Wasn't really good at football. Was about 160 pounds wet.
Yeah.
So played my freshman year, and then it was like, that's not something for me. But played basketball in high school, and when I got to college, it was just more intramural stuff. And,
Yeah.
enjoyed that with friends.
Nice. How long were you in college? Did you go after college somewhere? Or?
So actually, I went to first I went to a 2-year college and got my electronics degree. So basically, like the inside of everything, and then went for my 4-year up in Massachusetts. And I always thought about going back for my master's, but just got too busy.
You kind of got in the real world.
Yeah,
You know?
kind of got in the real world, and but I was learning faster than I could probably learn from an education perspective.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Sure. Yeah.
Fire hose.
You jumped into it for sure. What was your biggest shock coming to Dallas from Connecticut?
Well, it was from Massachusetts, but
Massachusetts.
I think
Those
culture.
northern states,
Yeah.
Texas, it's just up north.
Yeah. No, that's true.
I'm surprised I didn't say those Yankee states.
Yeah, I'm a Yankee,
Yeah.
but not a Yankee fan. I'm a Boston fan at heart. No, I think the biggest shock was just how fast things move here, right? And then just the massive amounts of growth. I came here in 2008. You think about Frisco wasn't Frisco, McKinney wasn't McKinney. Now those places are enormous,
Yeah.
right? Like crazy amounts of high schools and schools. And I remember we looked at a house in Frisco when we first were going to move here, and my wife got out of the car and was talking to somebody, and they said, "Yeah, we have to hire 800 teachers this year." And where you come from, that's the whole entire school system, right? And they just need to hire 800 that year.
Wow.
But we chose to settle in University Park, which I'm glad we did, right? I'm glad we did. It's a great area. When you come from a place with lots of trees and you come to a place with not a lot of trees, you try to find the place that has trees.
Right.
University Park has some great trees.
Yeah.
And so we've enjoyed the area. Have built great friendships over our time here, and really call it home.
Yeah, it's a great area to be in. It's funny. It's great to see Dallas is such a young city compared to a lot of the cities up north, right? We've got so much opportunity here, and it's about to get really interesting here, I think.
Yeah, you think about the amount of growth, right? So I was just recently reading something about how we, during the pandemic, we built 50,000 apartment units in the Dallas metro. 50,000. That's a lot. In New England, you don't see that, right? Because it's kind of landlocked, and the population is pretty dense. Whereas here, it's not as dense, but it's getting denser as we see the crazy growth here.
So what was it like at RealPage? So you said you were a small company when you went there. You definitely had a crazy fun journey with them.
Sure.
What was some of your things you learned there?
Yeah, so what I would tell you is, I learned about all the possibilities that a company can go through. When I started there, we were $70 million in revenue. We had about 700 employees, but we grew fast. The whole plan was to go public, and so the first 2 years that I was there, we were trying to run the company as a public company, getting ready. And then in 2010, we went public. And
So 2 years y'all went public.
2 years went public.
And previous companies were all private companies.
All private.
So this is brand new to
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. And it was like, an experience that not a lot of people get to have, in the sense of going through that process of being able to go through the process of going private to public, learn so much there. And then what that did for us is it really opened the capital markets, right? So we had access to capital that we never would have had as a private company, and then we hit the ground running. Acquisition after acquisition, 50 plus acquisitions while I was there, and we grew that company as a public company to over almost $1.5 billion of revenue. And so everything moved really fast, but we learned so much along the way. And so, somebody was asking me today, I was having a conversation with someone that was asked me questions about a colleague that I worked with there, because that person was applying for a new CEO role. And they said, well, could he be a CEO? And I said, absolutely. I said, he was a CEO, if you really think about it, because we all had P&L responsibility. We were running $100 million businesses. It was huge. And we all had the responsibility of running our respective areas and pushing them through. So, but it was a hell of a journey, and the CEO there, Steve Wynn, was just a great mentor as well. Really challenged his executive team constantly, giving us challenges, throwing some curveballs in there, whether it was from an acquisition perspective or looking at reporting a little bit different. It was always something. And in 2021. We had the opportunity to sell the business back to private equity and sold it for $10.2 billion. So that was pretty wild.
That's a huge number. Everybody knows that RealPage in DFW was
Sure.
a big company.
Yeah.
It's interesting you going back. I've obviously very, very excited about you joining the team, and I had a conversation with somebody who was like, if you look back in his resume, you've been doing stuff that just perfectly fits for this new opportunity, right? And then now get to hear that you had a paper route and lawn cleaning. I mean, when I say you're in service, you're always serving people, right? I mean, you had some sales in there, but even at RealPage, you were serving your property managers and your single family rental companies.
Oh yeah, yeah, and we weren't just a software company; we were also a service company, right? So we did utility billing, where we billed back utilities to the resident, and we were doing smart home installations, and we do that today at UC, right? Through our security partners, and I've been exposed to so much over the years, and I'm so excited to bring that to UC, right? And the excitement around what we can do with the business. In the markets that we're and the people we're serving.
Yeah, I mean, we were connected by a mutual friend, and if I look back, this will be one of those stories I tell, because this friend was just randomly introduced, and we hit it off very well. And I got to be honest with you, when he set us up for the lunch, I went into that lunch going, I don't think this is the guy. Right, I'm going to do this for him, and I'm always down to meet somebody.
Sure.
Right, but we hit it off so great. Yeah. Right, had a 2-hour lunch, dinner, breakfast was supposed to be an hour breakfast, and you just got it right. You understood where we were and where the potential was and where we can go, and it was. I mean, I think we had instant chemistry.
Yeah. It's understanding where you are in your journey, right? And you did a really great job of explaining that. And where I was in my journey, just those two situations just hit really well.
Yeah. I had to pull you out of
retirement.
It was a struggle.
It was a struggle.
It was a struggle.
I think it lasted about 2 weeks of really liking it, and then realizing that I don't know about this, but
I got to get something else going.
Yes, always, and not that I'm not busy, right? I was busy doing other things, whether it's restaurants or real estate or other things, but always busy. And I think, as I was saying in the beginning, right, the paper route, the lawn, always something going on. I wouldn't know what to do if I had nothing to do. Right?
Sure. And I think you mentioned your education is business and electronics and technology, and I think you're a really good mix of that, right? One thing I recognized when you came in was your people skills. Your EQ is very high. You did some things that I just really noticed that, and it's a lot of times you don't get that in people, right? Sometimes you get a good person that's a good operator, a good executor, but they don't have the people skills, and that was really important to you coming in.
Yeah, and I would tell you, I learned a lot of that at RealPage, the people side of things, because, what was so exciting about that business is that we were growing so fast, that we were bringing so many different people in, and getting the opportunity to spend time with people and helping them grow in their careers. Never mind me growing in my own, but being able to help people grow in their careers. That was the real fun of it. Right? I mean, because look, you can look at it from a numbers perspective, and that's just one way of looking at it. But where I take it from two perspectives is, the numbers are important, but the people are even more important. And, just as much as you and I hit it off walking, in our first interaction, the management team that you've built at UC, every one of them is excited, is starving, is just ready to go. The Tom Brady perspective of let's go, right? And it really is let's go, and we're already seeing all the excitement around it. But people are important, and you look at your business today, and it is a people business, because if we don't have the right person picking up that phone and having that conversation the right way, then we're not going to achieve what we're trying to achieve with that customer. And when I sit and listen on the floor, right, I can tell you, we had somebody this week, we had a brand new employee, and I could hear her from my office. Not that that's a bad thing. But I said it to her today. I said, not that I'm complaining, but I can hear you from my office. But it was so cool to listen to her talk for the first time with one of our customers, and she sold, right? And she sold that customer, which was so awesome. So I ran out there and gave her a high five and was super excited about the journey there, and seeing all the new folks walking in the door. They're a little, deer in the headlights or a little scared, but you see them mature day after day, and they get confident day after day. It's so much fun.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing we connected on early on was just people. Like, we have a amazing people business filled with excited people that are very servant leader, right? You said that she sold it. She sold the customer. I like to say she served them, right? Because we're just helping them make selections, right? And they're so excited to talk to them. That first few times we tell them, talk to them like they're your best friend, right? You're just trying to help someone move, and I love hearing those conversations. Also they're super excited.
Well, you're taking away all that fear and anxiety, right? I remember when I bought my first house. It's like, how do I set up my utilities, right? What am I going to do from an alarm perspective? What am I going to do from a home warranty perspective? What am I going to do with all this stuff? I'm so confused. Whereas we've created a situation where we're able to calm that person down, walk them through the situation, and give them guidance that they really need in order to be successful in that acquiring of the services they need for their home. My daughter just signed a lease, and even today I was texting back and forth with her on, should I go with this or should I go with that from an electricity perspective, or who should I pick for an internet provider? And I said, Emma, you don't have a choice. You have to pick Verizon because your best friend's dad runs the place. You know what I mean? So I'm sure she's going with Verizon Fios for sure.
It's available.
It is available.
No, he can probably have them run a.
Just run a line right down.
Yeah, it's not right. Good, right? So I want to get into a little bit of, what excited you about Utility Concierge? Obviously, our conversation. I'm a great salesman, and
you are a good salesman.
I was very upfront and honest with you. I don't think I held much back, but.
Well, I think that's a big part of it is the honesty that you had, but also other executives that I talked to in the company before I made the decision to join. It was great because you knew what you were coming into, and one of the things, most executives are coming in to fix something, and what I saw in UC is we're not fixing something, we're just growing what's there. And I said this in our first kickoff meeting is, you built an incredible DNA in that company, and everybody knows it. And we talked about when everybody showed up at the office, right? And for that first kickoff when I was there, and just the energy in the place was I just couldn't get enough of it, right? And so, when I saw that early on in my conversations, with you and with others, and I just felt it was a great fit for me because I was looking for something that, number one, it had to be fun. Right, and we definitely like to have fun at UC, and but I also looked for something with great DNA, that we weren't trying to go in and just fix things, and that's not what we're doing here. We're really taking something and exposing it to others that may not have known about it. Yeah, because in our particular space, there's a lot of mom and pops in the space. And I think we're one of the largest, if not the largest in the space today. And we still only have a small market percentage, right? And so that's what I'm excited about. And that's why I wanted to come. I wanted to come because I wanted to have fun. And I really enjoyed the management team. And it's only gotten better since I walked in the door. And, I felt at home as soon as I walked in the door. Right, I had streamers in my office, and I had all the swag was ready for me, and everybody was there with open arms. No one was sitting saying, this is bad or that's bad, or I wish it was like this or I wish it was like that. Everybody was just ready to hit the ground running, which was so much fun.
Yeah, and I like that. That's one thing that we hit off on is want to have fun. Like if we're running a business, if we're privileged to be able to do this, we might as well be having fun at it, right? Mm-hmm. And I love the term, kind of the word we use is just evolve.
Evolve,
right?
Yeah, that's our word of the year is evolve.
Evolving, the team, involving how many people we expose Utility Concierge to. I mean, we just have such a huge opportunity to really change the way that people move. Right? If you really look at it, we want to change the way that people move and take some of that stress off of it and allow them to enjoy the move a little bit more. Yeah. And we're a really big referral-based business. 100% of our business today is referral-based. So we have a ton of opportunity to expose UC to more people and really help them. And that's what I want to do. I just want to help more people moving.
Yeah, and you talked about yourself being a good salesman. The conversations that you and I've had with others, one of the things that I'm glad I get to do is hang out with you, and we get to go to different places and talk to different people, and you do a fantastic job of explaining the business, right? I think, was it last week when you were actually on a ski slope? Okay, let's talk about real here. This is definitely connecting the journey.
Yeah, very close to dying.
Very close to dying.
I mean,
he's on a slope and he sticks his skis in the ground, gets on a video call, and just rocks it in explaining the business. I mean, it was so awesome. And I got off that call and I was like, that was incredible. Right, and both the other two guys that were on the other end, they were just like, okay, this is good. This is good.
Is this guy in our building?
Yeah, where is this guy? And he's
I took a picture of that because I wanted to remember. Like literally 2 minutes down. Thank God he talked for 5 minutes about football so I could catch my breath. It was like the hardest hour. I literally, I didn't think I was. I obviously didn't get down to the bottom of the mountain, but I didn't think I was going to get out of it. But yeah, and what I like, working with you so far is like I get to be myself, right? And that's, I'm passionate about my people, I'm passionate about our company, and I'm passionate about growing. Like we just, we had this kind of 2 years of kind of flatness with the market, and I know what that growth trajectory looks like, and I don't want to 2x it. I want to 10x it or more because the market share, the opportunity is huge. We've got a blue ocean in front of us.
Yeah, when you look at the business, right? So it was interesting when you get into the, like we talked about data, right? So data is important, people are important. But when I looked at your business, Gabe, one thing you got to realize is that, in a down market, you did amazing things, and your team did amazing things in order to keep the business where it was. And because look, we saw a pretty massive decline of close to 40% in the market from where we were getting those referrals from. But on the backside, we were filling in new referral partners left and right to compensate for that. And when you sit there and you have conversations with folks and they talk about, how was your year last year? And we say, well, we battled through it. And they ask the question, well, did you decline? And you're like, no, we didn't. We didn't decline. And in our space, that is an anomaly.
It is.
That is an anomaly. And I think that is what gives us the energy to grow even more.
Yeah.
Right? Because we know what to do when we have a down market. We will be able to diversify our lead sources. We know what we need to do that, and it's just going to make us a stronger company going forward. So hats off to the management team and what they were able to do in that down market condition.
And that's a great testament to the team, and I'll be the first to say, like, sometimes I don't recognize that because we went from really growing 50% a year to staying flat with some minor increases. And so that feels like a major decline. But, I mean, the last 2 years in the real estate market has been rough.
Oh, yeah, rough.
Definitely weathered that storm.
I don't know if that's the right word, but
we
could have a few other.
Right.
Keep it clean.
It was definitely tough, and our team weathered through it. And I think, like you said, they're starved for growth. Right? They know what growth looks like. We had some flatness, and now we're ready to get back to it.
Yeah, but you can just see the energy today. I walk out of there recharged every day.
Yeah, and I'm excited to get people back in the office, right? We talked about the kickoff and that energy. And I tell you, during COVID, I was very pro work from home, right? We're excited we can continue to work and we can give people that work-life balance. But, and I mentioned this, like, I don't think I realized how much it affected me. But getting back into the office it's just been a shot of energy and in my arm. So it's got to be trickling down for sure. I mean, I love walking in there.
And what's great about it is, one of the first conversations I had with folks is, all right, how do we get everybody back in, right? How do we get them in? Let's drive to 3 days a week, and we're already seeing the results of that, right? This week we got our service team is all in this week, and you could just feel that energy. Everybody's excited. You're having great conversations. They feel a part of something versus sitting in their living room or their dining room table or
in their pajamas.
I think everybody would still like to wear their pajamas.
Activewear.
Activewear. Is that what we're calling it? Activewear.
Some Diori or some Lulu or something.
I mean, I did get dressed up today, Gabe.
I did see.
I did get dressed up today, just for you.
Yeah,
just for you.
Couldn't be for the meeting we have afterwards.
No,
but well, look, tell me. We talked about where you came from, why you're here, but where do you really see UC evolving? Right, I could talk for hours on it, but where do you see our opportunities? What are you really excited about?
So what I'm excited about is getting our name out there in a way that we haven't been able to before, right? And getting people to recognize our business, because we are a very important part of the transaction that consumers go through. And if we can be a part of that conversation, it just makes the whole transaction that much easier. And so I'm excited about our reach and what we're going to be able to do from that perspective. But then on top of that, backing it up with the great customer service that we have. And I've seen our new folks coming on board, right? We have a very comprehensive training and development of our concierge, right? It's not just hiring somebody tomorrow, putting them in a training room for a couple days, and then throwing them on the phone, right? We have modules. We have a defined process of getting them there, and so, like I was saying before, we're already seeing the excitement out of our new hire teams, and what they're able to do with the energy that we're creating for them, and so. I'm excited about that opportunity for us to get out there. But on the other side, too, I'm also excited for us to get into other markets, right? So we're heavy in the insurance side and the realtor side of things, but we're not doing a ton of work in builder. right? We can make a difference for the builder. We can absolutely make a difference for the builder in creating a much better experience for their folks in that transition of the home from the builder to the new homeowner. So we're excited about what we can do in builder. And then, with my background in multifamily and single family rentals, as an owner of single family rental and multifamily rental homes, that process of moving in, it needs our service as well. And so I see us diversifying into that market too. And so, our TAM is growing, and that's exciting, right? We're not going to be 100% reliant on two sources of leads. And so that's exciting, and that's going to open doors for us that we haven't had. Yeah. And we've brought on some new folks besides myself, and you can already see the excitement around those guys too, right? In what they're able to bring to the table. But making sure we're in the right part of the conversation and making it easier for that consumer to get things over the goal line, and then looking at after I buy my house, right? After I buy my house, what other types of concierge capabilities am I going to be looking for? So that's what I'm excited about and what we can do.
And I think your background helps with the other thing that I'm really excited about is the technology aspect of it, right?
Yeah.
And we have a lot of technology on the back end that helps our team members, help our customers. But a lot of times in this day and age, people, I'm sorry, they just don't want to pick up the phone. We have an amazing experience if you want to talk to someone. But I'm excited about bringing that to the market because I think it's going to help us meet our clients where they want to be met.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I was shocked at how much technology we had in the back end.
Undersold that a little bit.
You did undersell that. And so our capability there is going to allow us to do a lot of things and do them fast too, bring them to market quickly. Because of all the work that we've been doing over the years in support, creating the tools to support our sales teams, and the way that we built them allows us to then be able to use them in other circumstances, right? Even today, with our release of our security only perspective for consumers, we're already seeing excitement around that. And our marketing team and our tech team have done a fantastic job there of getting that product out. And so, look for us to have a really great experience for the consumer in that regard. And then us being available at any point in time as you're going through that journey to be able to jump right out and say, hey, I want to talk to somebody. Yep. Right? No one has that capability, and we do. And so that's going to make it even better for the consumer.
Yeah, I like to say a lot of times, if you're going to do this on your own, it's going to take you a couple of half days. Probably going to spend an extra $1,000 the first year. Mm-hmm. If you use our service as is today, you're going to save some money. It's be a 30-minute phone call. Once the technology rolls out, it's going to be 5 minutes worth of clicks, and you're done.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, how much time is that going to give back to people so they can really enjoy the move? And you mentioned about this as a critical part of the transaction. And throughout the transaction, you've got a guy. Like, you've got somebody to help you. You've got a mortgage, you've got insurance, you've got a realtor, you've got title. But then when it's time to move, you're on your own.
Everybody's like, see ya, I'm done. I got my money and I'm out of here.
Yeah, right? Like, I did my part, right? And that's where we come in. We pick up that relationship from our real estate partners, right? Mm-hmm. Because they want to continue that relationship with them. We make sure that transition in the house is smooth, and we're going to stay in touch with them for life. Yeah, and you think about how you started this business, Gabe, right? You were installing security systems, and you'd show up and there's no electricity, or the frustration of the consumer of, I don't know what to do to get all this stuff done. And so that's how UC came to be. Yeah. And so you think about it today, and it's the same story. It's no different than it was when you started in 2009, right? 2009, right? Yeah, 09.
Yeah, 09.
Loan mine since 09.
Yeah.
And I like to say, we deliver on the first promise, mm-hmm. right? Like, if a real estate professional gives us their client, like, we want to make sure we deliver on that first promise, right? And I think we're the best in the business at it.
Yeah, right? and we're extending the relationship, as well. And that's really important for the realtor out there to know, is that we're extending the relationship. And they want that. They want that because, as we know, 87% of people would use their realtor again if they had a relationship with them, right? We've been hearing that in this space for, 20 years.
Sure.
And, but how do you do that, right? You do that through relationships like ours, to where we're creating value for that consumer that can ultimately relate back to the realtor, in the relationship that the realtor has, or the builder, or the property manager, or all the different folks that you're dealing with. How do you make that relationship stronger, utilizing somebody like ourselves?
Yeah, we're extending that touch point with a human and technology. We're putting technology on top of our amazing people company that we built.
Yeah,
So
Hannah's going to be busy.
she's going to be busy.
She's going to be
Very,
super
very
busy.
Well, Jason, look, thanks for spending some time with us. I'm really excited. I think I said, everybody, I told you, I think I've said I'm excited probably 10,000 times in the past.
Just keep saying
months,
it. Just keep saying
but-
you're excited, because it gets me to come to work every day. So
Well, we're very, very excited, and I think, looking back, like, there's things along your journey that has just prepared you for this next role, this next phase in your journey.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see what comes out of it. I mean, we're moving quick.
Yeah, I may be older, but I still move as quick as I used to.
You do.
Yes,
you
I
do.
Yes, I do.
And with the team we have, I don't think we have any choice but to move quick.
No, it's always great to work with young people. I can say that now because I'm old, but
Keeps you young.
It keeps you young, and working with great people that love the business just as much as you do, and I'm loving it every day since I've walked in the door. And so we're going to have a lot of fun, and can't wait to come back on this show and talk about all the successes that we've had in 2024.
Yeah.
So let's get back and come back here and talk about the journey that we've had for 2024.
For sure. And I think this is going to be, for me, it's going to be one of those times that I look back, and this was a major turning point in my life, how we met, how these last 3 months have come together, and we're really excited. And so I try to look back as much as I can. Thanks for spending some time with us, and looking back, I learned some things about you.
Don't use it against me, okay?
I won't.
You don't call me paper boy.
Maybe some comics on your desk or something. I don't know. Okay. I didn't dig. I was going to call your wife and dig to get some ammo, but I have a feeling
she knows a lot.
Yeah.
She knows a lot. We've been together a long time.
Yeah.
So.
But thanks for spending some time with us. Like I said, this is going to be one of those God wink moments in my life, and I am full of gratitude and ready to move forward. So thanks so much, and have a great day.